Welcome to Thursday, okay? Thursday in the process. And since what I show you on the screen here rarely has to do with what I am actually talking about, I'm going to show you some basketball cards that I've collected over the years while I talk. First of all, what I did today, I just put out a video yesterday, and it was about Michael Jordan and the best camera work ever in the league. And I really enjoyed that one. It took me 3 days to put that together. It was quicker than usual, and I did, as somebody so keenly observed, I over-edited the shit out of that. Meaning, I put way too many sound effects, I put way too many transitions, and way too many is subjective. But I wanted to stuff it full of clicks and bleeps and blorps and swishes and colorful things, just as an exercise. So what I want you to do is look at that last video and compare it to, I don't know, something like, well, any of the other videos, and just notice how many effects I put on there. And it basically is an extreme of what you can do in editing if you really want to raise the energy of a piece. And the problem is it's kind of a rabbit hole, because once you dedicate yourself to accentuating every transition and every movement with sound effects or some sort of transition, then you really start to get obsessed with the limits of that. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is two things. I actually wrote a script today, and this script is called You Don't Know Basketball. It's going to be basically my thesis for everything moving forward. My magnus opus. I don't know if I think that's the right phrase. And that script took me about 35 minutes to write. It's 3 pages. It's going to be rather short. I'm trying to actually put out more shorter videos so I can put like a few of them out, maybe a couple a week, just for the next few weeks, and then I'll get back to some of the longer stuff. But I just need to be regular for the next few weeks on YouTube and in life. I need to be regular so I can kind of maintain the audience that I have. So, okay, next. Okay, before I get to the actual topic of this video, because I actually have a plan for today for the Learning Center. Welcome to the Learning Center, where everything is a process. Thank you, Eric. Oh crap, this card is bent. How did this card get bent? I'm gonna try something out in the future, and I wanted to know if anybody was interested. I think I'm gonna do, not live, but live reviews of people's videos. So if you're an up-and-coming NBA YouTuber, even if you're not, maybe you're an established YouTuber. I'd say I'm somewhere in the middle. Definitely not one of the big shot established people, but I'm not quite a beginner either. And I am carrying over a little bit of professional expertise in just the process, making videos. Not that I'm saying mine are the best. Okay, but what I'm thinking is because a lot of people, they'll DM me links to their videos that they're making, and they want my opinion. And I'll be honest, I really want to try and give all the feedback I can. But I know once I start the process of watching and giving feedback that I can get distracted for long periods of time diving into somebody else's work, when I know for a fact I need to spend the time on my own videos. And it's not from a selfish standpoint, it's just the fact that I need to put something out at least once a week if I want to maintain an audience. I mean, that shit like devolves fast if you disappear for a while. So I'll take out all the ums later. So what I'm asking is, if anybody does make basketball related YouTube videos, you can link them here, or actually DM via Twitter at this link right here, Mr. Tamioni, that's Twitter. I'll pick one, and on Fridays at the Learning Channel, I will go over them and just talk about what I like and not necessarily what I don't like. People, when they're reviewing things, they generally stick on the things they don't like. If you ever hand something over to somebody and say, hey, give me your opinion on this, a lot of times what they do is they feel obligated to tell you what they don't like. And I've never understood that. They instantly become experts in critique, and they tell you what they don't understand or don't get, and you should take this out. And a lot of times, people feel the need to come up with at least something, one thing to change in your video, or your essay, or whatever it is, your screenplay. I really believe it's more valuable to tell us what you do like, because that reinforces the stuff we like and we know to do more of that or to stick with that concept, expand on that, as opposed to telling all the shit that you don't like. What that ends up doing is it just highlights a bunch of stuff you don't like, and we don't know how indifferent or favorable you thought of the rest of it, the stuff that's actually gonna stay. Talk about the stuff that's gonna stay in the piece, not the stuff that's gonna get out of it. If you talk about the stuff that's good, then we know what to keep, and the stuff you didn't bring up, we can automatically assume it wasn't effective for some reason, that it was boring, and you have your opinion about that already. All right, okay, gosh, that's a sidetrack. But that's just a general statement. If anybody ever asks you for feedback or criticism on their creative work or whatever it is, the Johnson file at work, then just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm gonna request people send me links. You can send them to me here, you can email them to me, or you can DM me on Twitter. My DMs are open. Make sure to DM me because I don't see all the mentions. Sometimes the mentions get a little cluttered. And then I'll go over it and I'll use that as a jumping off place to talk about a lot of shit. Okay, let's do what I set out to do today, which is answer some viewer questions. Viewer questions coming from the Learning Channel. All right, let me look for them real quick. All right, let's go to the screen here. Question number 1. What is the song you use featured at the outro of the Finals Cut video? It's Heaven to Me. Please give me the name and link to the song. I'm gonna have to go listen to the song, but I will put it in the description of this video. Mohammed. Could you please put together a video regarding motivation, motivating yourself to translate an idea or multiple ideas into a presentation and not doing a half-assed job with it, continuing to be motivated to finish what you have started. Also, why the NBA for you and just the NBA for you? How important was the NBA for you? Wow, that's a great question. Number 1, how to stay motivated. These days, the motivation comes from, I would say, angst to put a video up, because as you guys might have noticed, we are in the midst of a growth spurt, and it's moving from just a hobby to something that may take over as the primary source of funds in our household. So in this transition, it's very important to stay regular. I think I mentioned that earlier. Also, finding a good idea. If you find a good idea that you're interested in, and not just some dumb idea of the day, some idea that just popped up that day, or the one that everybody's talking about, then it's easier to stay interested. But there always is a point when you're writing or editing where shit gets boring or tedious. And what happens then is that you just have to keep doing something. You may not be able to put your all into the work, but as long as you're continuing to push forward, like if you're just bored out of your mind and you really don't want to put much thought into your edit on a Wednesday, then just level the audio. Just go through it and color correct your shots or put an effect on your shots. And then by the end of the day, an hour later, you will have done something, at least something, to further your idea. Also, I think when I get over 50% done, it's kind of downhill for me. I know that I need and I have to finish it. So there's just this kind of looming motivation once I get over 50%, and I know that it is possible to finish this idea. Honestly, that's one of the biggest points of this process is when I start an idea, I almost always have this feeling that I'm never gonna be able to realize this idea. Especially the last few videos where I was kind of recording more of myself. Each one I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make this actually work. But then you realize you get to a certain point where you do one thing that is kind of cool. And a lot of times it is just one thing. I'll mock up some scene where I put somebody's face on something, or there's a smooth bit of or voiceover that matches with some good video and the music is nice. And honestly, take this as advice. If you can execute one of your tricks, one of the things that helps tell your story, it motivates you to do the next thing. So don't edit in sequence. Don't edit linearly. If you're bored with one part and you want to get to the big finish where the music's gonna be bombastic and over the top and you're gonna be screaming, well, just go to that part. Just work on that. Again, just do something every day, even if it's barely anything. Okay, that was a long answer to one question. Oh, why the NBA? The NBA played a big role for me in my formative years. Formative years, right? That's one of those sayings. Of course you say formative years. Those words go together. I made most of my friends in high school through basketball. I spent a lot of time with my family, with my uncle specifically, and my dad, obviously, watching basketball. They even built a basketball court for me in the backyard. It's kind of a janky basketball court, but it worked. It was an adjustable rim, so a lot of friends came over and we played back there. Funny story, also in school, I was given a redwood tree, and we were all sent home with it, and we were supposed to plant this little baby tree. So I planted it in our backyard in the middle of Berkeley, and I planted it, and what's amazing is that redwood tree grew the fuck up. We've moved out of there. My parents, my sister and I moved out a long time ago, and obviously I've moved plenty of times since then, but that tree is giant now, and it's probably destroying all the pipes under the house. But there is a giant redwood tree, probably 40, 50 feet high, just shooting out of somebody's random backyard. I mean, there's oak trees and a lot of willows in that area, that neighborhood, but there is only one redwood tree on that block. It's giant. And I see that thing all the time. Whenever I go back to California, it's amazing. It's beautiful. Okay, next. Do you not have an editor to help you with your content? If you do, why is it taking you so long? Why it's taking you as long as you do? If you don't, why not have one? Oh, Muhammad again. Muhammad, what is up? You are tearing it up with the questions. I do not have an editor. Well, I am the editor. It takes so damn long because of that particular reason. I am the sole editor. I'm the sole everything on this channel. So it takes a long time to do all this stuff, including with the rest of my life. And will I ever bring an editor on is kind of an extension of the question. No, I can't. Maybe I'll bring somebody on eventually as an initial editor, somebody to kind of clean up the audio or do the post effects, but I kind of need to have my hands on it in order to make it what I want it to be. Okay, how long does each video take to make? For example, the Michael Jordan vids. This is from the Hip Hop Underworld. I think I've seen your comments around. The shorter ones, things that are around 5 to 7 minutes, take about 3 days. The ones that are longer take 2 weeks. Also built into that 2 weeks is a lot of downtime, thinking, and adjusting what I'm actually doing during the day. Okay, are you ever gonna finish your 100 NBA scams? I made a video called Top 100 NBA Scams, and I only did 6 or 3 of them. And then it transitioned to a secret episode of Michael Jordan Web of Lies, which I thought was very clever back then. It still is pretty clever to have a secret episode tucked away. But it was really just cover for the 3rd episode of Web of Lies. And I really didn't approach it like a good video. I think I did it lazily because it was just a ploy, but I'll go back. I'll think about it. There are a lot of scams. Okay, next. Who is this from? Dre Williams. What is your favorite, no, that's a different question. What is your ideal spot, success, subscriber count to be in on YouTube? Would you ideally like to have personal video creation as a full-time career? Do you ever see yourself merchandising your brand? What are your likely next steps, future goals? All right, we got to get to 250,000 subscribers in the next year. That would make me happy. You know what I want? Whether it's 50,000 subscribers, 100,000, one of the things I want is a regular, loyal audience. I want 50,000 subscribers to be watching every video I put out, because I don't overbear people. I don't burden people with too many videos. It's not that much. What I need to do is get on a schedule and put videos out on a regular schedule. I think that'll help people. But I don't want all these people who subscribe and then never come back. So hit the notifications. Okay, merchandising, just wait. The video I wrote today called You Don't Know Basketball, You Clearly Don't Know Basketball, I'm going to parlay that into some merchandise. And it's just something I thought. This isn't some master plan, but since the tools are there, I don't see why not. You know, it's like the Patreon. I feel super weird about asking people for money and then them giving it to me. I feel indebted to them on an odd kind of level, like very much indebted to them. But it's a tool, and the point is people have spent literal days watching my content. I've created more than 24 hours of content, and some people have watched every single one. So, and paying $3 a month for that isn't unreasonable. I feel like it's a fair trade-off, but I still, even though I can rationalize it, I still feel like I owe them. Regardless what I feel, I still have to take advantage of the opportunities that are given to me, and merchandise is one of them. And I think that's gonna be a next big step, and hopefully people like the designs. Okay, this is from Odysseus Simonoidis. Do you watch EuroLeague basketball? Greek fan here. No, I don't. I've seen Olympic basketball. I think I accidentally watched a EuroLeague game over the summer. I'm not against it at all. It's just not on. And as you kind of know, I'm not usually seeking out the day's games or the day's storyline. Like, I'm not chasing down all the basketball that's available each day. I kind of just let things filter their way to me through society, and then I'll go digging if something interesting happens and find out. Of course I watch basketball on a regular basis, but I'm not just gobbling it up endlessly. So I'm flipping the channels and I see a EuroLeague game on, I'd probably watch, though I hate the ending of their games. I hate the foul mindset, foul on the threes, foul every situation at the end. The end of EuroLeague games is a disaster when it's close. Okay, what was, Wyatt, throwback watcher, Wyatt. What was your basketball number? My basketball number was 0. I wore 0 in high school, and it's because I thought it was a number that made a statement, I think. I mean, Damian Lillard wears 0, and he says it's for Oakland, an O for Oakland, which is actually close to where I grew up. Berkeley is right next to Oakland, but I wore 0 because I don't know. I always wanted to have an odd number, not odd literally, but an interesting number. Like when I played in a rec league, I wrote 77 on my jersey, which was just a t-shirt, but 0, okay. Wyatt also wants to know, how many points does he have? How many points do I have? If you didn't know, everybody on this channel, everybody who watches a video and comments is playing the game that they don't know they're playing. And there's about 3 videos on here where you can get direct points. There's actually a point system to those videos, the trivia video, the basketball statues video. But other than that, I hand out points occasionally for particular reasons. And I'll just give points to people. And a lot of times I give points to people and they don't even know that I'm giving them points. So for Wyatt, and I hope you're watching this, right now, let me check the stats. Wait, you can see me making the shuffling noise. Let me check the stats. Okay, it looks like you have 79 points. But that puts you in 44th place, Wyatt. Even though you've been around for a while and you have 79 points, it's surprising that you're at 44th place. You should be a lot higher. I'm gonna give you 20 extra points right now. That puts you up to 30th place. All right, good luck. Next. Is that it? Okay, let me read this one. Favorite player, team, coach. Favorite player, Steph Curry. Yeah, idiot, I know. Favorite team, the Warriors. But by this point, people know. I grew up watching the Warriors. Coaches, Don Nelson. Don Nelson invented modern basketball, okay? Period. But Mike D'Antoni, like Dan and Tony, or is it D'Antoni, like D'Angelo? He gets all the credit for modern basketball, the way people play. Don freaking Nelson invented modern basketball. Okay, what position did I play, and to whom would you compare your game? I played power forward, even though I was never over 5'10". And I said that in another video. It's because I could jump. I had hops, quote unquote hops, and I could jump out of the gym. So I'd bang with the big boys down low and they'd push me around. But then when the ball went up, I'd sky over them and own them. Okay, I think I answered most of the questions here. Please keep the questions coming. It's pretty amazing to have this dialogue. And yeah, there's some good cards in here. I'm just gonna run through these.
And put this over it. There you go. Look, Irving Magic Johnson, Team USA. What's in here? Flair. Woo! Look at that. Shaq. Team USA. Oh, it's the Shaq pack.
Seriously, everything on this channel is for us. It's not just for you, but I'm glad because people are allowing me and helping me define my process. Because my process is a fucking mess. But the more I talk about it. Oh, by the way, the motivation question was from June Yang, which was, I think, the winner of the questions. It was the best question, and I'm awarding June 21 points for the best question. And if I answered your question today, just go ahead and give yourself 3 points just for participating. Also, the person who got me talking about Don Nelson, you give yourself 55 points. If anybody can elicit a Don Nelson discussion, you immediately get 55 points. All right, I love everything about every one of you guys. Check me out on Patreon if you really want to take this relationship to the next level. And everything is a process. So thank you for coming to another session at the NBA Storyteller Learning and Editing Storytelling channel of discussion and process. Bye-bye.